you dream of changing the world. Perhaps you imagine being like one of the comic characters I read as a child who have now made it to the big screen. Dream of being like Spider-Man or Superman and being able to uh, don that cape and save that cat from that tree. And heck, not just save the cat, but save the tree and save the people as well. I have a unique perspective on how you can meaningfully change the world. Having sat here for just short of 25 years, as a psychotherapist, and having sat across from many thousands of people and watched their growth and their transformation, I think I have a very unique perspective I want to share with you on how you can get out there and change the world. If you're going to change the world, I'm quite convinced that what's very important is for you to learn about and learn how to overcome the childhood traumas that you experienced in life and the relational patterns that those embedded in you so that you can more fully show up for life and transform this world of ours. And let me tell you what I mean. Look, growing up, you saw the world through the eyes of your caregivers, and you learned about the world through the voice of your caregivers. And if you were among the fortunate many, there were probably times where your caregivers looked at the world with wonder and awe and beauty and said, wow, look at this wonderful world out there. Come, let's go play in this world together. And perhaps if you were among the fortunate many, there were times in your childhood where your parents looked at you with that same wonder and awe and delight, and you were the sparkle in their eye. And they said, come play with me, come be with me. And in those ways, you learned that the world and relationships were safe, and that there was a place for you, and you were wanted, you belonged, and you were important. But your caregivers, no doubt, also had their own traumas, their own stuff, and that got them at times, instead of leaning into the world, to be anxious or avoidant, to pull back and withdraw, or to reach out only with fear. And you watched that as well. You watched their maladaptive coping styles. As a child, you took all that in. You took in all that beauty and wonder and joy that they shared with you. But you also took in all that scared, all that anxious. And what happened is what psychotherapists call the intergenerational transmission of trauma. That the things that scared your parents become the things that scared you. In fact, the things that scared your parents' parents became the things that scared your parents, became the things that scared you. When you become an adult and you leave your childhood days behind, what still carries with you inside of you, often unconsciously, are these relational patterns. And when those relational patterns are the ones that have you avoid the world, when those relational patterns are the ones that have you anxious in the world, then they are an impediment to you being who you are in the world. You don't lean into the world, you pull back from the world at those times. If you want to change the world, you want to show up in the world, right? How can you change the world if you're not there for it? How can you change the world if you're coming out of your anxiety, if you're shrinking from it, out of your avoidance, right? The world is changed by you and your vulnerability and your tenderness and your wholeheartedness and the beauty and wonder of who you are, which I hope your parents showed you at least some of the time growing up, which I know is alive inside of you, right? But I don't want that to get scared out of you. And instead, I want you to be able to lean into the world, trusting the wonder of who you are. In a nutshell, right? The keys to getting there are this: become aware of when you withdraw. Awareness is half the battle. Right? We can't change what we don't know, but we can change what we allow ourselves to become aware of. So just become aware of where are the ways in which you become scared, you pull away, you become angry and feel you have to attack instead of engage. Right? And just become aware of all these times. What are they? When are they? How do they come up? And then as you start to become aware of them, just breathe into them. It's okay. It's okay. This is just what happens to me. Right? That is the therapeutic process, right? That I engage in all the time. People come in and share all this stuff, and I just hold the space with them and say, it's okay. It's okay that you're here. It's okay that this is where you are. And just bring kindness and empathy to it so that you can soften those hard edges and come to understand where this came from. And then, just little by little, invite yourself to make small incremental changes that allow you to take small steps of courage forward. Because the lasting changes are the incremental ones. It's the small incremental changes that build up into an avalanche of change.